All right, so good morning again. Um Hope you're doing well. We are on uh, in the third reading, which we are doing regarding the countdown of Jesus to the cross, written by his disciples right in the first century, available for us to read in the New Testament. There are four Gospels telling the story of Jesus. Um, by the eyewitnesses, and we saw in last couple of readings that Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane 2000 years back, right before going to the cross, the evening before in fact, and then the morning of going to the cross, Jesus is presented very early in the morning to the religious court of the Jewish system of the country of Israel. And now we realize that in the religious court decided to put him to death, and but they did not have power to execute the death penalty. So now they take him to the political system, which was ruled by Romans. So Jesus is going to stand in front of the Roman governor. Now Romans were not Jews. Romans were not monotheistic. Romans could accommodate various gods in their lives, and here is Jesus Christ, the incarnate God, standing in front of the Roman governor on the morning of his crucifixion. And let us read from this first century account what happens in the scene. So then when I'm reading from Matthew 27, and we are almost starting off from the place where we left last time, but we are going directly to verse 11. And now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You have said so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many things they testify against you?" But he gave him no answer, not even to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the feast, the governor was accustomed to release the crowd any one prisoner whom they wanted. And they had then a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when they had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release for you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Christ?" For he knew that it was out of envy that they had delivered him up. This brings thoughts and questions regarding human motivations. And as you read and hear this portion, I want you to keep in mind there are various people here, and we too, we do things out of deep motivations, and we are able to twist things according to the motives which drive our lives. So here Pilate realizes that these people have brought Jesus for being put to death penalty, but the motive behind that is envy. Besides, while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much because of him today in a dream." So you see a divine ordained incident that while Pilate was getting ready to pass the judgment on Jesus Christ, his wife had got a dream. And we haven't been told the details of that dream, but that dream was powerful enough for her to send a message to her husband that please don't mess up in this whole thing. So anyway, now the chief priest and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor again said to them, Which of the two do you want me to release for you? And they said, Barabbas. Pilate said to them, Then what shall I do with Jesus who is called Christ? They all said, Let him be crucified. And he said, Why? What evil has he done? But they shouted all the more, Let him be crucified. So, when Pilate saw that he was gaining nothing, but rather than a riot was beginning, he took water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves. And all the people answered, His blood be on us and on our children. Then he released for them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, delivered him to be crucified. And the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole battalion before him. And they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and put a reed in his right hand, and kneeling before him, they mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit on him, and took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they stripped him of the robe, and put his own clothes on him, and led him away to crucify him. Now this is the journey he takes, and we are going to get into this journey again tomorrow, and see where this journey ends. Because the soldiers, and I believe his enemies, they are all following him, and he's carrying his cross, and he's going to be crucified 2000 years back on this during this very same time. And tomorrow we will pick up from this part of the story what happens now. So until then, think about it, meditate on it, pray a prayer in your heart, and have a great day. God bless you.